All right, we'll open it up for questions for Ben. First one, Jerry Dulac, go ahead.
Ben, good morning. Despite some of your critical self-evaluations, you're off to the best start of your career. When you're coming back, like from an injury, or maybe even play through one, but in this instance, you sometimes tend to play within yourself, and you have any explanation for your?
Well, I'm just glad we're winning football games. You know me, Jerry. It's not about stats. It's not about numbers. It's about winning football games. And so coming back from an injury and not playing last year, I was a little worried about, my play and what was going to happen. I think I told you guys that before the first game, is that my biggest concern was not letting the team down and losing the game for them. So I'm just glad we're winning football games. Sometimes when you get to this age in life and in football, you have to find ways to win the game mentally as well. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Joe Rudder.
Yeah, Ben, after all the big games you've had over the years with Baltimore and Cincinnati, what's the characterization of this rivalry with the Browns, and is it good for the division that they're relevant again?
They're a good football team. This is AFC North football, and you can say what you want about past records and times played. Those are previous years. This is a new football team, new coaching staff. But they obviously have a new staff. We're a new team. They're a new team. They're a good football team, really good. They've got a really good defense, and a lot of those guys. I looked at their roster today. They've only got 2 guys that have been on this team that have been 10 years of experience in the league. So it's not like these guys have been playing us for years and years and years and worrying about how many times the Steelers have won or not. That's not what it's about. It's a new season, new teams, and they're a really good football team.
Dale Lawley.
And I know you typically have to identify the Mike linebacker when you step up to the line of scrimmage, those kind of things. Because they move Myles Garrett around so much, do you also have to kind of point him out as well?
He's a generational type football player. He's really, really good. He's a guy that we have to know where he is, and we're going to have multiple guys blocking him because he is a game changer. He's that good.
Mark Caboli.
Ben, you talked about before about the deep ball not where you wanted. Has that changed any of your decision making when one of those arrives? And do you think that it's just feel, and once it starts, you feel throwing that deep ball, that it will get better?
Yeah, I'm not shying away from throwing it. I just want to connect on them more. I want to connect on every pass I throw, though, short or long. So just because I'm overthrowing a little bit, and I went back and looked at some of them too. I mean, there were a couple PIs, so that's a guy getting held a little bit too. So that can then lead to an overthrow. But like I said before, as long as I'm overthrowing, not underthrowing, that's the okay miss.
Didi Kinkabala.
And we all know what happened the last time Myles Garrett saw this team, and then what he said in the aftermath of that. Yesterday, Mike Tomlin told us that he has no message to his team about that, and that's firmly an experience in the past. What is the magic in Coach Tomlin that he's able to do that he can tell a team, we're just not going to think about it, and everybody buys into that?
He must read a book of magic if you're calling him a magic. So maybe we'll call him the Magic Man.
Brooke Pryor.
Hey, Ben, I know you said that this is a new Browns team. There's not a lot of holdover from past years, but there's turnover with the team every year. And even still, you historically have been really successful against the Browns, I think 23-2-1. How do you explain your personal success against this team?
It's just one of those things that, they're in our division. So we want to play hard against them. And I've been a part of some really good football teams that have helped us win games against a lot of opponents.
Jeff Hathorn.
Morning, Ben.
Morning.
Seems like you have a pretty unselfish group of receivers. What's that do for an offense when you have a group that isn't wanting or begging, or not that they don't want the football, but they're okay with other people getting theirs?
It's interesting because when I came in the locker room after this last week, I wasn't sure what the demeanor was going to be from the other receivers, to be perfectly honest. And I looked over because obviously Chase had an amazing day. And I looked over at Juju to kind of see what his reaction, because he's our number one receiver. And I looked over at him, and he had the biggest smile on his face. He was, and it's not because Chase was right there with him. Chase wasn't even next to him. He had the biggest smile. He was having fun with other guys. And I I just can't say enough about him and what that meant to me, what it meant to other guys, and how proud we are of him that he truly was happy for Chase. He was happy that we won the game. Did he have huge stats, Juju? No. But we won the game, and that's all that matters. And so I think for a number one receiver to feel that way in the locker room, I told my wife about it. I told my closest friends about it. Like, that just made me really proud and made me happy that we have selfless guys in this team that are more about the win than they are, trying to get their stats. So I can't say enough about Juju and what that meant after the game.
Will Graves?
Ben, it's hard not to look at Chase and be reminded of Martavis. Are there any similarities between the two? And, obviously I remember Martavis, it took him a while to kind of get involved that rookie year. What is it about Chase that's allowed him to make an impact much more quickly?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. They're both wide receivers. They're both tall. They're both fast. And so we're happy that Chase is coming along. I mean, he's an awesome football player. He had a great week. And the thing I told him after the game is he's not going to be able to sneak up on anybody. So how is he going to rise to the occasion now that people are going to be watching him?
Alan Saunders?
Ben, you talked about this being a different Cleveland team. I guess one of the things that changes is now you have 3 teams within a half a game at the top of the division coming into this one. Is it a different feel to coming into an AFC North game in that scenario? First time it's happened in a while like that?
You know what? It truly doesn't matter. When we play AFC North football, that's why we say you throw records out the window because everybody's vying for that top spot. Everyone's going to give the other team their absolute best. It doesn't matter what record is. It doesn't matter what the season record is, what the past record is. It's really about trying to win the division.
Time for a few more. Dejan Kovacevic, go ahead.
Ben, when you mentioned the start that's been had by you, the statistics that are there, they seem overwhelming. Is there a part of your game that you feel matches that you feel that you're playing the best of your career?
I'm just trying not to turn the ball over. Obviously, I'm not putting up big passing numbers and yards per attempt, all those things. But to me, I just don't want to turn the ball over, and so that's the biggest thing I'm trying to work on, and that's going to be the biggest challenge this week because this team, I think, pretty sure leads the league in turnovers.
Jerry Dulac?
Hey, Ben, a lot is made of the 3 Heisman winning, trophy winning quarterbacks in the division. Do you get any, or will you get any extra juice when you play against these guys?
No, I'm gonna have a fake Heisman made so all 4 of us can have them. No, it's cool. I mean, it's that's the top honor in football, and those guys were all deserving of it, and it's pretty cool. I'm the lone man out, so that's all right. But it's an honor to play against those guys.
Aditi?
Ben, going back to what you were saying about Juju's demeanor and the wide receivers group, this is actually something that Baker had to deal with earlier this year. What is the pressure on a quarterback when you have to make sure everybody in the room is happy that someone is getting a certain number of touches? What's the piece of that we on the outside don't necessarily recognize is on you?
Well, yeah, there's definitely more to it than everyone understands, and maybe someday I'll write a book and talk about it, but it's not always easy. I feel for other quarterbacks at times.
Final one. Jenna Harner, go ahead.
Ben, just how much fun is this team having right now, and how does that play into the matchup this weekend?
Well, it's obviously easier to have fun when you're winning. Both teams are winning, so both teams are having a lot of fun. And so I'm sure that you're going to see 2 teams going out there this week that are excited and amped up, ready to play each other. And, it should be a really good game.
All right. Thanks, Ben.